So anyway, with that being said, we got the guys from Zella in the studio. So let's start out right to left and tell us who you are and what you play in the band.
Phil Shaver, drummer.
Okay, and
I'm Tiernan Smith. I play bass.
Right on, very cool. Okay, so how long have you guys been together?
So we just reunited as a band back in January. The band started in March of 2016 and broke up October 2017. So
now, did the band start with all the same members it has now?
No, Tiernan he just joined back in January of this year. So
okay,
happy to be here.
Yeah,
right
so our first show back is in 2 weeks, and that'll be the first time on stage with him.
Where's that, at the Maidstone?
Yep, Maidstone Theater.
Okay. Speaking of shows, what shows do you guys have coming up?
Okay, so we have our first show back. That's May 3rd at the Maidstone Theater.
Okay.
Tickets are free, actually.
Really?
Throwing a party.
Yeah.
Throwing a party.
Throwing a party, you know.
Okay.
We want to get a lot of people out there, and we hope a lot of people come out. So, free event at the Maidstone Theater.
Okay.
So if anybody is interested, obviously we want to have them reach out to us. We do have tickets.
Yeah, tickets right here.
Yeah, right here.
So if you want to call in, anybody listening, you can call in at 313-879-5059 and tell us why you want some free tickets, and they'll probably hook you up.
Yep.
313-879-5059. Please continue.
So at that show, we also have a couple other local bands. We have Blue and Neptune, who's around the same area as us.
Good old Ethan.
Yeah. Yeah. And a couple downriver bands, including King Entropy and Flush.
Oh, King Entropy, another good band.
Yeah.
We actually played with Flush, too, back at the...
Colin Kerr, that's my drummer boy.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's very good.
Zach White.
Yep. Yeah, we.
I hope he's doing better. I just seen that he was in the hospital a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
But we did play with Flush back at the Diesel Concert Lounge back when we opened up for Gemini Syndrome.
Back in the day?
Late 2017. That was actually our last show before Zella initially broke up.
Okay.
About a year and a half ago. But that was the lineup. It was Zella, Flush, and then Gemini Syndrome.
Okay.
That was a good show.
So where can people find Zella in the social media world? Like, what social media outlets?
I actually have a business card right here in my wallet. Conveniently.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's like he's here for an interview, actually. Look out.
He came prepared.
Yeah, so you can reach us on Facebook. That's Zella Music.
Okay.
YouTube. We have a couple videos, some live footage.
Okay.
We also have Twitter. And deviating like a couple of different bands, we actually do Snapchat, which is
Snapchats.
Not used a lot, and we love using it. And we primarily we post a lot on Instagram. So Instagram is, I would say, our primary outlet for new content, unreleased stuff.
So you pretty much have all outlets now.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about doing the Zella Music or the Zella.com yet?
Yeah, we figured once we get some of the album recording done, which I figured we would talk about sooner or later in the interview. Once it's like in the process, that's when the band said we would talk about it.
Okay.
But it'll be in the works sooner or later.
So in regard to recording, do you have any music right now that people can listen to that is recorded, or are you going into the studio to re-record?
We don't have any recordings done in the studio because my theory is to not rush a process.
Well, you don't want to rush anything because then it's half-assed.
Because here's my thing, like especially growing up, like I really like certain bands and certain songs, and then I pay a ticket to go see that band, and then say they play my few favorite songs that they have, and for instance as a drummer, that's the easiest instrument you can change up when you're playing live, and I go and I see it, and it's a completely different. Say it's 3 or 4 years after the album's been released, and the drummer's playing it almost completely different because he's had the reps, at playing the song. Whereas a lot of bands go in studio and almost record immediately, and it's like it's half-assed, like you said, and it ends up being a completely different product in the end than when they're recording it. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, and you have to let like a song, grow. And that's what I'm saying. All the 8 Zella songs, which are the 8 songs that we're going to be playing, in these next 3 shows that we have coming up: Maidstone Theater, Token Lounge, and at Couch Fest.
Okay.
We're going to do
Couch
all the 8
Fest.
songs.
That's interesting.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a sec.
So anyway, all 8 of those songs were written in 2016. So from a drummer standpoint, I've had near 1,000 reps of playing all 8 songs. So
right on.
basically, when we record these songs, probably I'd say in about a year, maybe a little bit less. What you get on the album drum wise is 95% of what you're gonna get. Until whenever I play it for however many years to come. So, and I think that's what it's all about, especially for me, because I can put out the best product that way.
Okay.
I'd rather get the product out correctly than do it fast and get a 3 or 4 track EP done that's going to be changed sooner or later.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that everything's going to change because because like we said, it's going to grow.
Exactly. Yeah, the more it grows, the better.
Okay, so where did you end up meeting T at?
Oh, so Tiernan, we were playing at Simon's After Dark, Zella was, back in May of 2017, and one of his bands was playing. It was a couple bands before me, and I just seen him. He was up there, and I was like, this guy can play. It was just like he was like the one that stood out. And you usually don't see that as a bass player. It's usually the drummer killing it, or the guitarist, yada yada,
or the singer.
And and then he was getting some food. A few minutes after he took the set, probably like 15 minutes after. And I just give him a fist bump, and I was like, "Yo, dude, killer show." And then we started talking here and there on Facebook, started just talking music. And then late 2017, like 4 or 5 months later down the line, I joined a band called Assuring Violet because they were in need of a drummer.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yep. And then the bass player actually dipped out too. So then I brought up to everyone in Assuring Violet that I know this guy, he's pretty solid. And he would fit in well.
You're like, I know this badass bass player, and
so then he comes in, basically. So then he comes in. I only ended up being in that band a couple months, and then they continued, did their thing. He stayed in Tiernan stayed in Assuring Violet until that band broke up, and then sure enough, Zella needed a new bassist as well for the reuniting, so brought him aboard.
Okay.
And what's interesting enough about Assuring Violet was that kind of actually branched off because Blue of Neptune is actually a reiteration of Assuring Violet. It has
really,
yeah, it has Cimmerian. He was the drummer, now turned guitarist,
right,
within Blue of Neptune.
Well, I know he was working with I always pronounce her last name wrong.
Bring Out Your Dead.
No, Black Heroin.
Not sure.
Yeah, he was like drum teching for the guys in that band.
Right.
Yeah, so, when I left the band for other reasons, Cimmerian took over for me.
But, so who else from Blue Neptune?
Vocalist
Jeremiah,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's a great guy. I've really connected with him.
Right.
Kind of missed him, actually. I haven't hung out with him in a long time.
Same.
Right on.
And he's a killer vocalist.
Yeah.
He can scream he could do
one
that
of the best.
professionally.
Yeah, actually, me and him have actually had some pretty good chats.
Yeah.
He's definitely
he's a good guy.
pretty down to earth dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
definitely. Cool. Okay, so that's how you met T over here.
Yeah.
So basically, when you guys do decide to go into the studio, are you guys gonna end up doing it yourself, or do you have a studio talked about? Or
yeah, we're gonna do it ourselves. It'll be months of a process, but I mean as long as it sounds good and it gets done correctly, we'll have an awesome product.
It's like
at the end of the day.
The best part about
so it sounds so with the confidence I hear coming out of Phil's voice, it sounds like he's going to be the guy behind the board.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Recorder, editor, master, all that.
We just have to make sure the drums are mixed evenly, right?
Right.
Yep.
He'd be like, "No, man, the drums are fine, man. They're not too loud."
all about the bass drum and the snare.
Yeah, I mean, it is that's really got to be heard.
It is.
Yeah. But definitely. Okay. Well, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna play 2 of your guys' songs here, which are both recorded live.
Yep.
And that one is called "Living Weapon," and then we're also gonna play "My Personal Hell." So with that being said, you're listening to Smash the Scene on CRBradio.com. I Welcome back to Smash the Scene. That was Zella with My Personal Hell, recorded live from the Crowfoot Ballroom. And then that other song was Living Weapon by Zella. And I believe that was recorded, gentlemen, where was that recorded at?
That was in Wayne at US 12.
Good old US 12 over there, right off of there, Michigan Avenue. It's always a fun time playing there. And speaking of shows, let's talk about those shows that you guys got coming up.
So as we talked about, we got the May 3rd at the Maidstone Theater. Tickets are free, by the way.
Free.
So, yeah.
Free. Either free tickets or just come down and get into the door and get in for free. And you want to know why? Because then you got more money to spend on beer or to buy some Zella T-shirts.
Yep.
Speaking of which, we do actually have 2 new designs for T-shirts. We got a more rugged look. It's our band logo. It's got, the classic rock and metal look with the.
It's got like that rock and metal
edges.
Zombie look.
Yeah, and then we obviously got for the more contemporary, we got the classic look where it's just Zella.
Yeah,
right there,
almost
right
an Arial font.
I like
but
it.
It's not.
I like it. I like it. I think it. Yeah, I think they'll both sell very well.
Thanks. So we do have tickets on sale for free. Well, not on sale, of course.
They're not on sale. They're for free. But hey, what they can do is they could work you out a deal, because I know they're playing with the Vera Union, and I know they're selling tickets for the Vera Union show. So you could buy a T-shirt and maybe get a free Maidstone ticket and a ticket to Vera Union for some special price that Phil will come up for you.
Yep. Wednesday, May 8th, we play with the Vera Union. Vera Union is a national rock band. They've been around for, I think, over 11 or 12 years now. So
yeah, it might even be like 15.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
their main hits are Seasons, and I like that song. It's good.
And you actually had the chance to play with them last year as well over at the Diesel.
Yeah, I did. With one of my other bands, I opened for the Vera Union at the Diesel Concert Lounge in January of last year, and they put on a very good show. I'm stoked to be playing with them again.
So it'll be like a reunion, seeing them again and playing with them again.
Yep, year and a half later.
Right on.
So
in regard to so you guys got the Vera Union, you guys got the Maidstone, and then you got this show that was a little interesting to me that I heard, Couch Fest.
Yeah.
I hear mice running through the building. You hear the little squeaks?
So where's that Couch Fest at?
So Couch Fest is down in Newport. It's in the
Newport,
Monroe
Michigan,
area.
baby.
Yeah.
I'm in Monroe.
Yeah. So that is going to be held at Nike Park down there.
Nike Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a
lot
of attendance there. The guy that he put the whole event together, he's getting like 400 tickets printed out for it. So
Wow. That's awesome.
So that's
how many couches is he getting?
We'll have to find out.
Just wait to find out, folks. There'll be some couches down there for you guys to surf on.
And we don't know any more detail on that. We should be playing around 1:00 that day, though.
Okay.
The set list
It's a
is to
Saturday.
be announced very soon, so the set list should be available.
It's like
they do have a Facebook group that anybody can join for free, actually.
Okay.
So you can get more information about it. There's a lot of stuff to see there. There's art, music.
Where can they go on Facebook? What is that called? Do you know?
So it's just the Couch Fest group. So if you want to join a group, I believe you can just search for Couch Fest.
Yeah.
And then right there
you go.
right then and there, you can just join the group.
And also,
that sounds very cool.
Also, if you follow us on Facebook.com/Zella Music, our cover photo has our 3 upcoming shows, the date, and how much the tickets are. So basically, I'm lucky to actually have someone to do the artwork for that. So it's basically just the logo of the venue where we're playing and how much the tickets are. And right now, obviously, Maidstone is free on May 3rd. The Vera Union tickets are $15 on May 8th, and Couch Fest we don't know yet, but that's
okay. And how much are the
July.
T-shirts?
T-shirts are $15, but if you want to buy a Vera Union ticket, we'll give you a free T-shirt and a ticket for $10.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Can't go wrong there.
That's my sale. But you have to be listening to this radio broadcast. If no one says that, they're
Mention
not getting the deal.
CRB when you sell.
Yeah, exactly. You got to mention Cave Radio. Otherwise, you don't get that deal.
And so they'll get a ticket for the Vera Union and a Zella T-shirt for how much?
$10. So in other words, they're getting $5 off the ticket plus a free shirt.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
You're welcome, everyone. Thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you for supporting us and Kate.
And don't have a football because he might tackle you.
Yep.
Okay, so in regard to the other guys in the band, now are those guys the original members of Zella? And whereabouts did you meet them at and hook up with them?
So our lead guitarist is Ken. I met him through one of my friends named Chris.
Is he one of the originals?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. He is an original. And then Seth Zella. So we got the band name from his last name.
Obviously.
We were trying to come up with a band name, and
he's just like, hey, man, how about Zella?
Yeah, all four of us were just sitting around, and we were just like, I don't know whose idea it was. I think it was mine. I was like, that's no good. Obviously, my last name is definitely no good for a band name. And then Seth was the last one to go through. It was like, Zella. And then everyone was just kind of like, not bad. I kind of like that. And I was like, at this point, I like it. Let's go with it. And we talked about it for 2 minutes, and Seth was like, oh, really? Are we serious right now? We're really going to use this? Who really thinks they're going to play in a band that has, their last name as the main name? So,
we assume that's how Dio got his name, too.
Yeah.
Probably.
Van Halen.
Yeah.
Well, Dio actually used to be a guitar player that was like in like oh, man, what kind of band was that?
I have no idea.
They're like, oh, my God, what's that band that used to come on back in the day? The guy had a TV show, and he had a big band. You guys don't remember? Man, it wasn't like the Johnny Carson show, but it was like, oh, man. It was in the 70s. I can't remember what it was called. But anyway.
Orange Walk.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Ronnie James Dio used to be in a band like the Lawrence Welk Band, where it was like big band type of stuff, and he played guitar and didn't even really sing. If you look this up, you can find it. You can Wikipedia it or Google it or whatever. It's pretty fucking. It's pretty. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see. Where are we at here? Where are we at here? Okay. So my next question is for you, Phil, because I think I remember you telling me one time that you might have been, but I guess we'll find out now. So, in regard to your drumming, are you self-taught or did you have lessons?
Self-taught, but there's been a lot of generations on my dad's side
that were drummers or musicians.
Yep, I'm like the fourth or fifth generation. So my dad, he was really good back in the 70s and 80s. He could drum multiple Rush albums.
So you were making beats on pots and pans when you were like 2 years old.
No, I actually didn't get it. I didn't get into anything drum-wise until I was about 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
12. Didn't get like good until I was like 15 or 16. I mean, not good, but I mean to the point where you could play.
So where you could play a beat? You could play
something better than just, more basic stuff.
You could play Living After Midnight?
Who's that by?
Judas Priest.
Come on.
Yeah.
Who's that by? Okay, Seven Dust.
Morgan Rose.
Yeah, he's a great drummer.
Yeah, he's good. That's actually one of the popular hard rock heavy metal bands that I haven't seen live.
Yeah,
I've
seen him one time.
If you name a few bands off right now, I guarantee you I've seen them. I've just been to so many festivals.
Have you seen Winger?
I have not seen them. That's because they're more old school.
Gotcha. Okay.
More old school. More like heavy metal.
Okay. Merciful Fate. Anyway,
I don't like them. That's why I don't like them.
Same question, T.
So I got my start. My dad was a musician, actually, too.
Awesome.
Similarly.
Was he a bass player or a guitar player?
No. He dabbled in drums a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, he was...
So he was a jazz guy, wasn't he?
No.
I'm wrong again. Sorry, Johnny.
No, but...
yeah, but you were right when you were naming those bands off if I seen them or not. So
really?
Makes up for it.
No, but from what I've been told, obviously, I wasn't around. But, in the 80s, my dad was working, he was kind of in the local band scene, too. He's a little familiar with it. And then in the 90s, he was a DJ.
What's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Kurt.
Kurt?
Yeah.
Bass player?
No.
What'd you say he played again?
Well, he was a vocalist in his band, I believe.
What were they called? Do you remember?
I want to say the name was Detonator. I don't want to...
No. I'm just trying to think.
I believe that is the name. I haven't heard much of it.
Right.
I think it's that sort of like, it's that.
Were they kind of like punk metal?
I don't know. I haven't really heard it. I think it's kind of like his thing where it's like, that, it's like his sacred thing that, it's his thing, I haven't listened to it. I haven't asked about it really, but I know it exists, and he was really into it back in the 80s.
Okay, so when did you actually get into starting to play bass?
Well, here's the thing: is that I think because I would always see music. My dad was really into music. My mom was really into music too. So I always saw rock on. MTV was always on.
Oh yeah.
So
when MTV used to play videos, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Right. I mean, I didn't grow up in the right time for that anyway. So there was MTV interrupted by episodes of Punk'd and Jersey Shore. But
Right.
I saw enough music and I heard enough from my dad. Playing his CDs because he was always listening to that every day. So I was always around music growing up, and
Okay.
I really don't think I took music seriously. Like I always liked listening to music and screwing around on like an acoustic guitar.
Right.
I never really set myself up until I'd say middle school is when I started dabbling into music and.
Okay, and what made you jump into it at that point like that?
I really don't know. I just kind of wanted something to do.
What'd you say?
I said girls.
Girls.
No, I think I just wanted something to do. And so what's the weird thing about me being a bassist is that a lot of guys like I see that play bass is that they're in the dilemma that they tried playing guitar and they're not the greatest, so they're told, "Hey man, can you switch over to bass?"
You weren't one of those guys.
No,
right?
I wasn't. I
Okay.
actually was. I was just jamming with some friends after school one day. I knew enough to play some good songs on guitar. Like we were all into Nirvana and Foo Fighters and stuff like that.
Good for
so we
you.
all knew songs like that. We all knew how to play them. Didn't matter.
There goes my hero.
I don't like that song.
Well, we didn't ask you, Phil. I'm talking to T right now, okay?
I'll wait my turn.
But yeah, so I picked up the bass and I felt like I was better than I thought I would be, and so I kept on going, and then I got my first bass. Funny enough, I got my first bass at a pawn shop.
Sounds like
Garden City.
Sounds like a Nicky. Oh, it wasn't a Garden City Exchange, was it?
I don't know.
It
hopefully
probably
not.
was.
It might have been.
It
might have been. But
good old Gary sold him a bass.
$50.
yeah, no, I got it for $150, and it still works today. It's still in good condition, and I play it. So.
All right, so let me ask you this real quick.
I never even knew that story.
Well, now you do. See, you learn
Exactly.
something every day, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so now my next question would be to you as well. Give me a couple of influences in regard to bass players that you like, enjoy, and that inspire you to play the way that you play.
Well, I would have to say some of them like more off.
It's okay.
Bassists that Jaco Pastorius of the Weather Report.
Okay.
Jazz Fusion.
Okay. How'd you say that last name?
Pastorius.
Okay.
Another.
Because isn't there a bass player named Jaco Pastoria?
Yeah.
You know who that is, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. He's like a phenomenal. Well, I believe he's passed on.
Yeah, he is.
But he was a phenomenal bass player.
Yeah.
Okay, but go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Obviously, I like to put in different technique too. I'm also influenced a lot by Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, so you slap and pop.
I do know how to slap.
Uh-oh.
Not really using it a whole lot in our music.
But when it's necessary.
But yeah, when it's necessary, I'll definitely throw it in.
When something's like
And,
bounce.
I'm also there's a guy I met who I met him at
Local guy?
I don't know if he's really local, but he's played with guys like Joe Satriani.
Oh, you're not talking about Stu Ham.
No. His name is Brad Russell. I worked with him.
Oh, I
talked
do
with
know
him.
Brad Russell.
Yeah.
Brad Russell actually played with us before, along with Tony McAlpine over at the Token.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was actually going to be a part of our project, but then he ended up getting real busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's always working on something.
Yeah, I mean he is a local guy, but
Yeah.
he's the national cat as well.
Yeah, I've
He's always working on movie parts and jingles and all kinds of stuff.
I've talked to him a lot, every so often.
Great guy to know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
saw him play.
Do you play like that?
I want to.
Okay.
So
that's
he's
what
got,
you're trying to achieve.
He's got some amazing technique. That,
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Years and years of study and
he's
practice
so
is
humble.
gonna teach.
He's so humble.
Definitely.
That's what I like about him, because you meet so many musicians and they're like, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm like, "I really don't care."
You could walk up to him on
Anybody
the street and
who's
he would
a-
downplay himself.
Anybody
He's
who
such
is
a
a
good
good
guy.
musician doesn't necessarily have a mentality like that. The people that act like that are more the people trying to make a name for themselves or make them feel bigger than they really are.
Right. That's why they drive a big truck. Okay. So, in regard to asking about that, what are some of the main influences in regard to Zella and Zella's music as a whole? Like, if I was to ask you guys to put yourselves like in a category, and I know that's always a rough question, but if I was to ask you to put, and I'm not saying just one, because you know how many bands have like 3 different, you know, but where would I fit you guys in?
Well, what really got me into like the hard rock heavy metal music was Static X, Mushroom Head, and Prong, and obviously Dream Theater. But
Okay.
I honestly don't think any band.
The first
can
3
come-
I see flowing right along, and then you
Yeah.
said Dream Theater, and it's just
Well,
like,
it's because Dream Theater's in a different league, but
Without a doubt.
I don't put Dream Theater in the league with any other band. They're just too good.
now
So,
drummer to drummer, do you prefer Mancini or Portnoy?
Portnoy
Me too.
by a
too.
mile.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I think that Mangini is probably quicker when it comes to solos and probably can
Yeah.
write better solos, but Portnoy is a musician, not a soloist.
Yeah,
So,
Portnoy definitely played for more of the song.
yeah.
You know, definitely, and it just seems like Portnoy can play anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 'cause
they're in a whole different league. So,
Right on.
and I try telling people that, and then they just name off some, hardcore heavy metal band like Whitechapel or something. It's like, dude, stop talking to me. Like, no disrespect, but it's just like
Right.
Dream Theater is just
Oh,
technical
yeah.
musicians.
Oh,
They
yeah.
study music every second of the day.
I mean,
they're not just headbangers.
I mean, I actually, being a drummer, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Neil Peart," and actually, to be honest with you, I actually like Portnoy style better than Neil. I mean, Neil's an amazing drummer. Don't get me wrong. But Portnoy's chops, I'm just a little more familiar with.
Yeah, it's like, I've been listening to them since, 2005. And there's parts and songs where I'm just like, every time I've heard it, 1,000 times, I'm just like, how does he do that?
Right.
How do they do that?
Like one of my favorite songs from them is I can't remember.
Constant Motion?
No, it's
Pull Me Under? Metropolis Part 1?
No.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, track 5 off
Where it
Images and
starts
Words.
out with like the little like sleigh bells in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh my
Tambourine.
God.
That's actually like one of their easier ones. Yeah.
It's not too easy.
No, especially near the end when he starts going ham on the tom-toms and the ride. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, huh.
I actually went to go see Mangini, the first tour with Dream Theater when Mangini joined, and he actually screwed that part up.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For like 10 seconds. But, I mean, obviously I noticed, but, 99% of the people there would
didn't
not
notice.
have noticed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever stroll on down to the Token when Terry Bozzio came in and did his clinics there?
I did not.
Yeah, that was quite a sight to see. That drum set took 3 of us. What was it?
Yeah, it's a big set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it. I think it took 3 of us, like literally, like I think it was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And he was like, you want to sit behind it and play it? And I kind of got behind it and like messed around without a doubt. But it was just so crazy and everything. Yeah, it was overwhelming.
That's still cool of him, though, because I don't like it when people touch my drum set. My drum set's not worth much. So.
Right. Well, yeah. And his drum set's probably worth fucking
Yeah. A lot.
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, did I ask you guys the question about the? Did I ask him the question about the band yet? I didn't. Today's been a long day, hasn't it?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. So anyway, Let's see where let's see where we're at here, Zella boys.
So if you could tour the world
Hey,
with any band,
hey, no one said you could talk.
Any
you're
band.
just supposed to sit there and
Of your
say
choice.
sponsors.
and they still got to be alive, which band would you like to tour with and why?
Led Zeppelin,
Anyhow, what band would you like to tour with and why?
Jimi Hendrix.
Coming from me, Prong. And it's more realistic. Yeah, it's more of a realistic band to tour with as well because they play a little bit more of the smaller venues. They come through Token, next time they come through, it's what I want to. It's so. I mean, to tour with. Sure, why not?
I'll snap your neck.
What you?
Well, no, I know there's a second iteration of them, Static X. I know without Wayne now, he's passed on, but
They got
Static
some
X
guy
is
that
great
kind
inspiration.
The guy from Dope's. He's doing the 20th Wisconsin Death Trip tour.
Oh, that's
I'm
that's the
actually
guy
gonna.
who's doing it.
I'm gonna go to the Grand Rapids show out at the intersection.
Oh, you're not going to go to Harpo's?
Football game that night.
Oh, right on.
And Dream Theater would be another one up there. I would love to play like theater shows; those are always
you go.
cool.
There ain't nothing wrong with theater shows.
Yeah,
ain't nothing
especially
wrong
with
with
that new album.
I love rocking out the small local venues. Don't get me wrong, but it would be cool to play like a bigger venue one day, just to see what it feels like.
Oh, there's another good one for you. So, besides the venues that you guys have played, what venues would you like to play and like to get into?
Majestic Theater.
Okay.
Well, I've been to a couple shows over at St. Andrews. I really liked it there.
Okay.
I played at St. Andrews back
Yeah, you
in
did.
2010.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a mixed.
I was not
lot.
a big fan of it. I didn't really like the atmosphere. The stage sound wasn't the best.
Yeah.
It
And
was
the crazy thing is because it's like once you're up on that stage, you're like, wow, this stage ain't that big.
yeah.
You're like, wow, the
it's
Token
not.
stage is bigger than this
Right.
stage.
My three favorite places to play are Maidstone Theater, Token Lounge, and Diesel.
Okay, but what about like, so you guys don't ever think about like playing like the Fillmore or
Maybe in due time.
or like called what's it called now, the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater, which used to be called Freedom Hill.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, not
Do
really.
you want it to be called like Pine Knob, or do you want it to be called DTE Energy Music Theater, or whatever?
Well, it's kind of like you remember that movie that came out a couple years ago called Idiocracy,
Oh yeah,
and everything was named after something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's where we're going.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's weird. The movie's starting to parallel real life.
You ain't kidding.
and you know what?
Kidding.
You know what's funny about that is, back when I used to deliver auto parts, this one mechanic told me to watch that movie because he said
Because
that
you
it's
needed your electrolytes.
he said that it's very realistic that things could end up happening like that, and I've still yet to see the movie.
Dude, if you watch
you
the
need to.
movie and you see like what's happening now, you'll be like, "Yep,
I
this is
actually
it. Yep, this is where we're heading."
I rented the movie about a year ago to watch with one of my ex band members, and ended up not watching it. So
Well, stop not watching it and go rent it again and definitely watch it
You watch it tonight.
because the one part's real funny where he's knocking on the door. He's like, I'm baiting. But yeah, you just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it because it's like, even though it's like a comedy with like Upgrade, the pimp, it's really tells the truth of like what's going on today. And it was released. What was that? Back in 2007.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen it on TV multiple
Yeah.
times.
I think the mechanic guy that was talking to me about it told me it was about a decade old, so
Yeah.
it sounds about right.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're getting ready to wrap things up here. So once again, we want to thank Zella for coming in. And if you guys want to, you guys can run through your shows one last time. And you can also let people know where to find you on social media one last time before we head out.
So our next show is Friday, May 3rd at the Maidstone Theater in Ypsilanti, and then 5 days after that,
Hang on. What time does the doors open on that show?
8
7
o'clock,
7 o'clock.
7 or 8,
7 o'clock.
7 or 8. We take stage at 9.
Perfect.
That's all that matters. Zella, Stage time 9 o'clock.
Well, everybody matters, but go ahead. We're on the radio. Everybody matters.
Well, we're first band, so
okay, that's all that matters.
You're not missing anything.
That's all that matters.
Definitely, if you do end up at that show, do stick around. These guys are great bands.
Yeah,
Right
good
on.
guys.
Okay, then
great guys personally and great bands. So,
And then the next show?
Then 5 days later, we have. That's when we're opening up for the View Union. It's Wednesday, May 8th.
And that's at the Token Lounge.
Yep.
Tickets are $15 in advance.
and then we have the July show. Now, this is Couch Fest, as we already talked about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation about that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of details yet, but it's definitely coming.
But details will be made available at...
It'll be on the Facebook group. You can join it. It's Couch Fest.
Okay.
You can join it. It's a public group, and information should be out very soon.
Yeah.
So that's a weekend event, July 12th or 12th, 13th, I believe.
Yeah,
12 or 13th.
Yeah,
Those are Fridays and Saturdays.
July 13th is the day that we're playing.
Yeah,
and
we're
the
playing
guy,
on Saturday.
The guy that's put the whole festival together said that all the bands that and the lineups will be released. Tiernan said over the weekend, I guess.
Yeah, either over the weekend or in the coming weekend or so.
And for future reference, they'll be able to find out more by going to your...
Yeah, our social media. So we have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram.
and it's facebook.com/
It's Zella Music.
And is that for all outlets? Is that what
no,
it is?
YouTube is Zella Band, Twitter is Zella_band, Snapchat the same, and Instagram the same.
Okay. All right, good
So,
enough.
So the Facebook and YouTube are the only two with different URLs.
Right.
Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram have the same.
And obviously, we always love talking to people. So if you want to shoot us a message, or if you're interested in tickets, especially the free tickets for the Maidstone show, definitely shoot us a message. We'd love to talk to you guys.
You can get a free ticket, a T-shirt, and a Vera Union ticket for $10.
Yep, Phil's discount.
Can't go wrong. A matter of fact, how about this? If they come to the Maidstone, they can get the deal there.
Yep, we'll have the tickets there and the merch there, so
Yeah,
the sale will be
definitely. We'll definitely be there.
Okay.
there. They have to mention CRB, though,
Yep.
Crave Radio.
Yep. You have to mention that you
Cave
heard it
Scene.
on Smash the Scene, CRB Radio. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Mr. J-Rock so he can announce that pay the bills. And once again, we want to thank the guys in Zella definitely for coming in. We appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.